All right, so get this. We're going deep on a story, the kind that's been all over the news lately, a real life courtroom drama, you know what I mean? We're talking about the Justin Johnson trial, the guy accused of killing rapper Young Dolph back in 2021.
Yeah, this case has really gripped Memphis, and it's about way more than just finding whoever's responsible, right? It's about getting justice for a guy who meant, well, everything to his city, to his fans, to his family.
Mm-hmm.
Young Dolph, Adolph Thornton Jr., he was more than a rapper. He's like a pillar of the Memphis community.
For sure. And you can really feel that in the city, everyone's been waiting for this trial, like on the edge of their seats. I mean, it's gotten so big that they had to bring the jury in from Nashville. Can you believe that? The media attention in Memphis was just insane. What gets me, though, is how they're saying this Johnson guy is connected to the hit, something about him wanting to join this record label, CMG.
Yeah, CMG, that was rapper Yo Gotti's label. And this is where things get really wild, right? Because they're saying this wasn't some random thing, that it was a planned hit. And get this, ordered by Big Jook, Yo Gotti's own brother.
Whoa, hold it. So are we talking about like some kind of music biz power struggle, labels goofing with each other?
That's exactly what the prosecution wants the jury to believe, yeah. They're building this whole narrative of bad blood, right? You've got Young Dolph with his own independent label, Paper Route Empire, and then you've got Big Jook, a big name at CMG. They even brought up these diss tracks in court, trying to show there was a history there.
And to make things even crazier, Big Jook was killed himself not that long ago, right? Like 8 months before the trial even started.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Adds a whole other level to this whole thing. But let's back up to the day it happened, November 17th, 2021. Young Dolph gets gunned down in broad daylight, right there at McGettis Cookies. Everyone knows that spot in Memphis. Prosecution says Justin Johnson, he's one of the gunmen, and the motive. They're saying it's that CMG connection. And get this, $100,000 hit.
$100,000. Sounds like something out of a movie. But what proof do they have, to back that up?
Well, they brought in clothes, say it connects Johnson to the scene. But what everyone's talking about is Cornelius Smith Jr., supposed to be the other gunman. He made a deal. Going to testify against Johnston for a lighter sentence.
Wow, so they're basically using one of the accused to try and put the other one away. That's a risky move, man.
Oh, it's a gamble for sure, but they do it a lot in these cases. They're really banking on this Smith guy's testimony. Like he's the key to the whole thing, especially since they're trying to say this murder was all part of some big conspiracy.
Yeah, I bet it's intense in that courtroom, right? Having the other guy right there, pointing the finger. But Johnson's defense, they're not backing down, are they? Still saying he didn't do it, that the evidence is messed up.
Exactly. They're saying it's all just guesses and like random stuff that doesn't really prove anything. Just because Johnson maybe knew some people at CMG doesn't make him a killer, right? They're saying the evidence is shaky, like maybe they're reading it wrong.
It's like a game, right? Back and forth, each side trying to outsmart the other. But we got to remember, this is real life, man. Young Dolph's family, they're in the courtroom hearing all of this.
Absolutely. And their testimonies were just heartbreaking, really powerful. Young Dolph's sister, Erica Thornton, she went up there first. Can you imagine having to go through all that again? In front of everyone, looking at the guys who they say killed your brother.
Man, I can't even imagine. And it wasn't just her, right? What about his security guard, Rel Hopkins? He was a good friend too, and he gave some heavy testimony.
Yeah, that was important what he said about that other shooting in Charlotte, the one where Young Dolph was the target. It shows it wasn't just, a one-time thing. There were real threats against him. Makes you think, what if someone had taken that stuff more seriously back then?
Heavy stuff. It feels like that question just hangs over everything. But right now, it's all about getting justice. Right. And with Cornelius Smith up on that stand, things are about to get even more real. You said it before, that Smith's testimony could make or break this whole thing, and from what I've heard, he really brought the heat.
He did not hold back, that's for sure. Talk about how he and Johnson, they were driving around looking for Young Dolph, and that $100,000 bounty, he said that's what they were after. Even said he recognized Young Dolph's car, like knew it was his because of the way it was customized. If the jury believes that, it's huge.
And that just plays right into the whole idea that Johnson saw this hit as his way into, like, the big leagues of the music world, right?
Exactly. The prosecution wants to paint him as this guy blinded by ambition, Like he'd do anything to join CMG, even kill somebody. They need that motive, something deeper than just, oh, he was paid to do it.
It's a bold move, but Johnson's lawyers, they're not just going to sit there, are they? I mean, they're got to be all over Smith's story, trying to find holes in it.
Oh, absolutely. They're all over that plea deal, right?
Yeah.
Saying Smith's got a reason to lie, to make things up if it'll help him get a lighter sentence. They're pointing out every little mistake, anything to make him look less believable.
So who does the jury believe? A guy who might be lying to save himself, or the other side saying their client is innocent? It's a tough one.
That's what it all comes down to, isn't it? They hear all these stories, all this evidence, and they have to decide what's true. Makes you think, even with all the fancy tech and stuff, it still comes down to people's words.
It's wild, this whole case, more twists and turns than you can keep track of. But like we were saying, it goes deeper than just the courtroom stuff. It makes you think about what these young artists go through. The pressure, the fame, the dark side that nobody really sees.
You got it. In this case, it's like a reminder, right? All that success can come with a price. It can lift you up, but it can also drag you down. And sadly, this isn't the first time we've seen it. Not even close. Happens way too often in music and entertainment.
Which makes you wonder, how do we stop it? How do we make things safer for these artists, especially the young ones just starting out, trying to make sense of it all? I don't know, man.
$1 million question right there. No easy answers, that's for sure. But got to start by talking about it, honestly, about the pressure, the bad stuff that can happen. And maybe the most important thing, remembering that behind all the fame and money, these are real people, Their lives matter.
Man, that's real. This case, it's messy, it's confusing, and it's just plain sad. More questions than answers, that's for sure. But it makes you think, about the cost of violence, how important it is to look out for each other in music and everywhere else.